Hey, what's going on, guys? Belton here. We are going to be working on a new little method I discovered today to make some currency in between the leagues. It is a pretty cool, involves a couple of different techniques, but it is one that will be quite lucrative. Right now, I am demonstrating this on my standard character. This does work in league as well. The reason for me doing this is because I just purchased all of one of the required materials in the league recently, and there just hasn't been enough time to resupply yet. That might be the case for any of you who catch this video right after it's released, but keep your eyes out. So what we're going to be working on here is making heat shivers, which are about to go legacy, as I mentioned. But not only that, we're going to be focusing on getting heat shivers that have the corruption socketed skill gems get a 90% cost and preservation multiplier. This is the most effective and best corruption, along with power charge. You could sort of interchangeably call them best in slot. But you can see here that a heat shiver that just has this corruption, regardless of the enchant on it, they start at 110 divines, and this is on standard. But again, the leagues are merging very shortly, and they start at 40, 50, 55, 70. And if you get, Berserk or Blade Vortex, let's say Tornado Shot starts at 420 divines. So there's still time to run these labs, but getting that preceding helmet where with that nice enchant obviously can be incredibly lucrative. So the way that we're going to go about doing this, you can see here, I just made a level 2 character that was literally just created and then going through the Twilight Strand. Now we're going to go to our hideout and we're going to get a couple of helmets, any card that can potentially give us a unique helmet here. So Doedri's item can give us, there we go, Doedri's Scorn, and you'll see that because it doesn't specify the item level of the unique item on the card itself, it's going to become the same item level as the character who turns it in. And this is very important. So you can see we're level 2, so these are all level 2 uniques. Now, what we're going to do from here, and the reason we're doing this, if we go ahead and we take a look on Poe Ladder here, if you're to use an Ancient Orb, right, there are 61 different unique helmets. And the one that we're targeting is Heat Shiver. And you can see that it takes 219 Ancient Orbs on average to hit that when it's the max item level. However, if we take a look here, we can also see that the minimum item level required for Heat Shiver is actually 0. Right? Now, the only problem is with that is that Leather Hood is the base for a Heat Shiver. And unfortunately, Leather Hoods, if we take a look, they have a minimum item level of 20. So to get a Leather Hood to drop in a map or to drop while doing the campaign or from a vendor, it's going to be at least item level 20. And we don't want that. We actually want it to be below level 20. And the reason for that is because if we take a look at the Vol implicits here, Vol corruptions have item level requirements. And so we can see here that there are 23 total ones. And most of them have, you can see that there's 60 for item level 60 for power charge, which is the highest. Then there's 3 of them that require item level 50. Then we've got 3 that require item level 40. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that require item level 20. So if we look at these ones, there are several that require item level 1. In fact, there are 7. One of those is socketed skill gems get a 90% cost and preservation multiplier. So that means if we have a heat shiver that is below item level 20, we can have a 1 in 7 chance to corrupt the socketed skill gems get a 90% cost and preservation multiplier. Or if you're doing a double corruption, now of course it's 1 in 4 to pick the implicits, but that means that it'll be 1 in 3.5 roughly, or 1 in 3 that will get these 90% cost RMR. Now, again, the problem is that Heat Shiver wouldn't naturally drop until at least item level 20, and you're never going to be able to find a Leather Hood, the actual base item, to chance it. However, you can find other unique helmets that are below item level 20, as we just did right there. Either we can force them by turning in divination cards on a low-level character, or what we can do is just look for ones like, Gold Rim or stuff like that that can drop right at the beginning of the game. But this is obviously an easier way. So the only thing you have to look out for here, the Doedri item, it's only potential chance, right? But there are several cards that will give you a unique helmet. You can just find those specifically, like Rat's Nest, Alpha Howl, etc. Now, because these are all item level 2, what we're going to take a look at, again, back to the Poe Ladder Ancient. If we switch this for max item level 2, we can see it goes from 61 total uniques to 25 uniques. And the chance to get a Heat Shiver is now only 119 Ancient Orbs. And if we take a look on standard, it's 1 to 38, right? So that's it's about 3 divines on average. However, those 3 divines will give you a low-level Heat Shiver, which means we can just take some ancient orbs here. And again, the reason why I'm doing this on standard is just because I bought all of the ancient orbs on the league. But if we go through here, there are several helmets, by the way, that you can get aside from Heat Shiver that are reasonably good here. I think Asenath's Mark is one of them. But for our specific purposes of trying to make some last minute money with these changes, we're going to be specifically targeting the Heat Shiver. Now, 119 isn't the cheapest thing in the world. It's not nothing. But when you factor in the cost, or factor in the savings that you can get, assuming you follow this the whole way through towards the double corrupting. Again, if it's like 1 in 3.5 and 1 in 4 of those, right, we'll get a implicit. That means it's 3.5 times 4, which is 14 helmets. And as we said, it would cost, what, 3? So that's 40 divines on average. And as we could see, it was 120 divines minimum to get that helmet enchant. Not to mention, you'll still have at least half of them that, will still be there as the Legacy Heat Shivers. There we go. Boom. Heat Shiver, item level 2. So that's all we're focusing on here, guys. And now we go and take this to the Locus of Corruption. And as I pointed out here, we'll see that here we can change the item level on the top. Item level 2. And we can see that there are only, it's 8,000, sorry, not 7,000, I apologize. That means, yes, so it's 1 in 4. 1 in 4 to get our socketed skill gems, get a 90% cost of reservation multiplier. If you use a Vol Orb, obviously 1 in 8, but we're going to double corrupt it, 1 in 4. So 16 helmets, again, that would cost, with the standard prices, 48 divines. And the bare minimum return on standard would be approximately 80 divines every time you do that. And again, you can pretty much serially do this. I'm not going to make a dozen of them here, and I won't bother doing the temples in front of you guys, just because that would take a little while. Plus, I don't have the temples prepared. And, the standard market can always be... Oh, there it is again. There we go. Number 2. So, there you go. There you have it. And for those of you who want to check an update, I will post if I get any ones that have the 90% RMR. I'll let you guys know, and I'll post that in the community section. But just a little cool way to get around, what's coming up with the changes, and a neat way to get a cool little helmet corruption there. So hopefully this was helpful. And I'll see you guys soon. Peace.